this is Stampy, and welcome to another Let's Talk. Today in this Let's Talk, I am talking very specifically about kind of what's going on at the moment with my lovely world. You may remember a while ago on my main channel, I uploaded a video kind of talking about some of the problems that are happening with my lovely world and kind of what the future of my lovely world is going to be. I can leave a link in the description to that video, but it doesn't really matter because it's kind of irrelevant now. This is the updated version of kind of what is going to be, I don't know, not what's going to be happening in my lovely world, because I still don't know, but kind of what the problems that I'm facing at the moment with that particular series that I'm doing in Minecraft. So basically, there was a big problem when they released the Bedrock version, because my lovely world for a very long time wasn't able to transfer. It would basically just crash the game, but now it works. So now I have a up-to-date version of my lovely world working on this new version of Minecraft, which is good because that is kind of, hopefully future-proofing, me being able to continue doing, my series on that world, just because they're probably going to be continuing to upload that version of the game for a very long time, unless they randomly decide to bring out a new version, which is very unlikely. So yeah, that's good, but there are a bunch of problems, and basically as it is at the moment, I really don't have an option to record my lovely world on that version of Minecraft. And the big problem I'm facing is that on Xbox 360 it's basically just getting way too laggy. It's getting it, I can still play on it, and in certain areas of my world it works and it's fine, but playing certain mini games or doing certain things with redstone basically just makes the game very, not unplayable, but just not very pleasant to play or to watch, which is a problem when I'm making videos on it. And so basically I kind of in the last video said about how, there's a few different options. I could either leave it on 360, I could try and transfer it to PS4 by bringing it to PC and then bringing it to PS3 and then to PS4, or I could try moving it to Xbox One for the console edition, but that won't get any updates. And then yeah, there's still a few problems with Bedrock as well. So let me kind of explain the situation it is at the moment and why kind of Bedrock isn't really an option. So the big main first reason is that it just simply doesn't have enough of the skins that I would need. So as I'm making this video now, I made a list of it. It wouldn't have William Beaver, it wouldn't have Polly Reindeer, it wouldn't have Hit the Target, it wouldn't have Santa. It has a Santa, but not the Santa from my lovely world. It also wouldn't have my lunar friend. So basically, I can't really do my lovely world without, especially William and Polly or Hit the Target or anything. So that's not really an option there. You can I think you can make custom skins on like the Pocket Edition or the Windows 10, and then if it's on the account you can kind of play it on that version, but you can't quickly switch between skins, which is something that I would need. Also, you can't make like the 3D skin. So if I had like, Polly Reindeer in that way, like she wouldn't have 3D antlers and it would just be really, really weird. So that's not really an option. And then on the PS4, they don't have the skin for William Beaver, the beaver skin, and they also don't have the Stampy skin without a hat on. And I know that they do have a version of the Stampy skin with the hat on, which is fine. So, I record on PS4 more than anything else at the moment, and I just always have a hat, but I'd hate not to have the option to not have the hat. And once again, there'd be no William Beaver. So PS4 is still probably one of the best options, but I mean, how am I just gonna get rid of William Beaver and then not have the version of me in my hat? So that's really not a great situation. The Xbox One edition does have, the Xbox One console edition does have all of the skins that I have on 360, so that would be an option, but of course that version isn't going to be updated. One of the other big problems with the Bedrock edition is just the fact that the redstone is different. Basically, the way redstone works on Java edition and console edition is the same, but then when they did the Bedrock engine, they changed it. This due to this quasi connectivity thing. Basically, it's in summary, if you're activating redstone, it's basically what things would be activated. So say if you're, I don't know, extending a piston and then there's like a piston on top of the next one, it would extend both of them. And basically it's the way that I've always done my redstone, because I've always only played on Java and the console editions. But they changed it or fixed that bug when they released this new version, which basically means, a lot of the redstone that was built on Java or console editions just doesn't work on Bedrock, and then vice versa as well. So a lot of my mini games or any just place in my world where I've done redstone, that wouldn't work on the new version. A lot of it I would be able to fix, but it would take a really, really long time, and it would kind of make all of the videos I made on it irrelevant, because my things building them are to give inspiration and to give ideas and almost tutorials as well, and it would kind of make them all irrelevant because they would all be teaching you how to do something, which no longer works. So that would be a big pain. And it's not even just the redstone stuff, it's just other mechanics in the game that's used in redstone, like things like mine carts that travel slower, which messes up the timing on a bunch of things that I've used in redstone, so all of that stuff doesn't work. So kind of a bunch of small changes, but it's that main difference in redstone which is never really going to be altered, because if they changed it would break everything on the bedrock version or vice versa. So they're really kind of just stuck having these different versions, so that's a big problem. There's still no exiting without saving, which is absolutely crucial for the way that I make my videos. So I've heard that is coming at some point in the future, but for now they still don't have that. And another big thing is, like, for me, what my plan was when I thought that they were going to continue to update the Xbox One edition was to bring my world across and then keep kind of gradually expanding it, because you can bring your world across and keep it the same size. But of course, my 360 version doesn't have an end, doesn't have ocean monuments, won't have any of the aquatic update stuff. But, when I bring it to Xbox One, I can like expand it so it gets slightly bigger and still has kind of like solid, almost like walls on the outside. But then I can get a bunch of new stuff. And then, in a year or so, I could expand it slightly further and then get a bunch more new stuff, basically meaning that I wouldn't need to keep making new worlds, but I'd still get all of the stuff in that world. And there's not an option to do that, basically, because it's an infinite world. As soon as you bring it across, it would make my lovely world an infinite world, which, in most circumstances would be a good thing. But for the way I'm trying to pace it out and not to continue to make new worlds, it's much better to be able to kind of gradually expand it and kind of choose when I want to expand it. So that's a big thing. And then a thing that wouldn't affect videos as much, but would be more kind of an irritation for me, is that I still don't like the menus. I think that they've got much better since when they were first released, but the crafting and creative menus I still don't think are as good as the console edition. I think I could eventually get used to them, but I still don't really like the feel of them. And then just the look of the game, especially my lovely world, because like loads of my lovely world, it turns out, is a swamp, and it kind of makes the world look quite ugly because loads of the water's like really black, and a lot of the buildings, and I think it's a little bit too extreme. Like, fair enough, if you made a new world and you saw a swamp, you might just not build there. But when it's kind of just, changed the biomes of my world, or, kept the biomes the same but made the swamp water like really ugly, like that's a big problem. And then there's a bunch of glitches in terms of the way that glass and ice works that looks a little bit weird, and hopefully some of that stuff is going to be fixed in the future. But it doesn't look quite as nice as it does in the console edition. And then like the movement, especially in creative mode, because the thing is, for my videos, that's just such a tiny amount of the time that I spend playing the game. Most of the time I'm in, creative mode on my sketchbook world, on a super flat, just kind of designing things. And I find that the flying around and the movement in creative mode isn't as good. I think a big thing is it's just so much slower. Like, just flying from one side of the world is just really slow. It just makes the whole thing kind of feel a bit sluggish when I'm used to kind of just quickly, knowing everything and kind of doing things really fast. And then, when I'm trying to build it in this new version, it's something that I would get used to, but I would kind of prefer not to, because I do think in that regard, the console edition is a little bit better. So yeah, they're kind of the main reasons why I can't go to Bedrock. If I went to the console edition on Xbox One, I just would never get any new updates, which wouldn't be so great. On PS4, like the downside would I'd be kind of getting rid of the option to ever go to Bedrock, which would be a shame, seeing as that, seems to be what the future of Minecraft is going to be. And also I wouldn't have the William Beaver or like the standard Stampy skin. And then, the other option is to stay on 360, where it's laggy, and it's only going to go and get laggier. And I don't know how long they're going to be updating 360 for, seeing as it's a really, really old console. And so I'm in a bit of a tricky situation here, because I don't really know what the option is to do right now. Like, there's big downsides to any option that I choose. So at the moment, I'm just kind of holding out and just staying on 360, and on certain videos doing them on the console edition on Xbox One. Like, if a mini game is way too laggy, I've kind of done a few videos on that. I'm doing my Stampy's Funland series on Xbox One because it's less laggy. But of course, once they stop updating Xbox One but continue with 360, then I won't be able to transfer my world across anymore. And at that point, my world's going to be completely trapped on 360, and I won't even be able to get to Bedrock, because the only way to get to Bedrock is to go through the Xbox One edition. So Yeah, it's really not a great situation, and I understand kind of the problem that Microsoft have got themselves into. They've said that, it doesn't make sense for them to be updating, two versions of the same game on the same platform, but that's kind of what they're doing on PC, because they're continuing to update the Java edition, and the Windows 10 edition on that platform, but they're not doing the same thing on console. And I think that maybe they think that Java is more different, maybe because it's got all of the mods and stuff, but I don't know, just because Java is a brand new different engine, like 4J Studios, they're, updating, and adding in all of the new features to the console edition and then just bringing it out. Like, I feel like that would be an easier thing to do than, Java, which is something that's completely different. But yeah, I guess that it's probably just sadly a case of maybe there's not enough people that are on the Switch and on the Xbox platforms and want to stay on console edition, that Microsoft just, don't deem, I don't know, those people important enough, or it's just not enough of the player base that it just doesn't matter, because, there's no way to put a silver lining on the fact that if you are a console edition player and you want to stay playing the console edition on Switch or Xbox, like, it just sucks because they're going to be stopping updating them. So yeah, that is kind of where I am at the moment with my lovely world. Any suggestions, I guess, would be helpful in the comments, but I think I kind of have thought of everything, and for now I'm just gonna hold out on 360 and kind of just see how things goes. But it's just a shame that, I've been doing this series for like 6 years, and like the thing that's kind of ruining it, or might have to bring it to an early end, is just because of a technical issue, rather than me, I don't know, running out of ideas or getting bored or anything. Like, I'd be kind of forced to either be playing it without updates or in a laggy version and stuff, so there's really no one single good option. But yeah, sorry, I rambled a whole lot in this Let's Talk. This ended up much longer than I meant for it to be, but yeah, I just wanted to keep you updated. So yeah, thanks for watching to here. Feel free to leave any comments down below as well for any suggestions for any topics you want me to talk about, which are nothing to do with Minecraft or my lovely world. I think it would be good to have a break from talking about those things, to talk about something new. But for now, I thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!